Hello, everybody. You are listening to God, Sex, and Love, and I am ready for a little girl chat. Yes, it's your girl Miracle Sims, and I have here none other than welcome back to Miss London A. Morrison.
Hello. Hi, guys.
Hey, 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 and welcome for the first time on God, Sex, and Love. I call her my mentor, Miss D. James.
Hello, everybody.
Hi. Thank you, ladies, for joining me.
Of course.
Yeah, at this time, I guess I just want to give you all the opportunity to just kind of express your hearts and just say whatever you are feeling, whatever's on your mind about the current events. Um, as we all know, what all is going on, I mean, really from COVID all the way to, another untimely death, and then now the protests and everything like that, so anybody who feels led to start, go ahead and start. But this is y'all's time. It's an open platform.
Well, how are you feeling, Miss Miracle?
Well, to be honest, like I think it's a blessing like how things work out. Because I've been able to kind of express myself with the juice every day. And my main thing has just been like, even in spite of all the stuff going on, I've just been kind of being like, it's like every time I have to approach it, like, okay, Lord, what do you want me to say? And so even with the stuff that was going on, I was kind of hesitant, not to be honest, I was kind of hesitant to be like, Lord, what you want me to say? Because at the same time, it's like, you don't want to talk about certain stuff, but I was like convicted to be like, no, I'm going to have to still do what I'm glad to do. So, which would say, Lord, what do you want me to say? And so he's been having me to talk about, everything, but I know my perspective is a little bit different because I'm kind of thinking of it from all a biblical perspective. So on one hand, it's like it's cool because I'm able to like express myself pretty much daily. Because I know I talked to some people, one of the guys in particular, and they were letting me know that they kind of was like letting it all soak in and processing it and stuff like that. And not to say that I haven't, but at the same time, I've had an outlet, and some people don't necessarily have an outlet, I guess. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I think my thing is I just can't let it overwhelm me because I'm sure if it's like if I really start to really let it like overwhelm me in regards to being like, oh, because I am married to a black man, I have a son, and we are all black, and you know what I'm saying. So if I let that stuff overwhelm me, it's like I don't
It's
know.
exhausting.
Yeah. I don't know if there's going to be any good to come from that. So I just been trying to just let God lead me in what to say and do at this time, and that's just been it. So that's a little snippet.
And this basic, but this is not a race war. You know what I'm saying? It's not a war against race. It's a war against racism, and that comes in so many terms. You know what I'm saying? From so many angles. I'm a lot older. I believe than both of you, and I've been dealing with this for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, Al Sharpton having a march for my uncles because they got jumped by a whole bunch of white men in New York City. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I remember my husband telling a story of how he came off the bus from a school trip and had to run and got jumped by some white boys. And, just being in a theater club, walking down the street, and one of the other actors is an Italian guy, and he hugged me. He says, "Let's make some people angry," and he hugs me, and you see people banging on windows and stuff. So it's I've seen this for a long time,
Mm.
and then you say, "Well, I am a mother of a black son. I am the wife of a black man. I am the daughter of a black man. I am the granddaughter of a black man. I am the aunt of black males. I am the sister of black men."
Mm-hmm.
But then we can't forget about the sisters too, because you have other women like Sandra Bland and
Mm-hmm.
Breonna Taylor. So this thing is, it's not so much about racism. We're talking about equality. We just want to be treated equal.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, all lives matter, And that's basically what the African American people are saying. We just want to matter.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We just want to matter. So it's like, you're saying that, everyone matters, then can you put us in that portion? Let us matter too.
Right.
My son he's 13 years old. I call him a small giant. He's one of very few words, and you're getting a lot out of me today because I don't talk a lot, but he's one of very few words. And you want to know how this is affecting people. He's 13, and I know that it's affecting him. I have to figure out, okay, like, which way. And I go on one of his sites and I see him playing jazz. And he has this thing that says Black Lives Matter, nothing less and nothing more.
Wow.
That's powerful.
Definitely.
Powerful statement.
Mm-hmm.
So this is deep. It's deep. And my only thing is that, yes, we're marching. And yeah, I hear all the protesters and the looting and all of that. But it's not about that. It's, is the change really going to come now?
Right.
That's what I'm looking for.
Right. That's what we really want to see, is a true change, not just, marching and protesting and looting and people talking about what they're going to do, but actually seeing, like, action. We need some action.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I mean, it's a crazy time right now. It's a much needed time. I think that even though COVID-19 seemed to have been a really trying time for everybody, immediately parents become teachers, people are out of work. It's a crazy time.
Yep.
However, with people being locked in, they had an opportunity to sit down and really see what was going on.
Yep.
It wasn't just a fly by day, it's just another thing in the news or something, but everybody had an opportunity to watch. And, something got to give.
It's exhausting. I will say for me, it's been very exhausting. It's just super exhausting, like right now. Like, I mean, I've had my own run-in with the police, getting stopped for a ticket in the States, because I actually live in Canada. And I remember maybe like 5 years ago, I got stopped by a police officer. I was living in West Palm Beach, going to college there, and I was driving up to Orlando to visit my boyfriend. And my parents had just got me a new car, and it was maybe like 9:30 p.m. And I was just driving up to Orlando from West Palm, and I got pulled over, and I didn't really know why, because I'm like, well, I wasn't speeding or anything. So they come over to my car and they're like, where'd you get this car? And I'm like, well, this is a new car my parents just got for me, for school. And it's two Caucasian guys. And so, then they're asking me, well, what is that in your purse? And I'm like, are you talking about this bag of bobby pins? Okay. So I guess they were assuming that my bag of bobby pins was something else. So I show them the bobby pins. I'm like, yeah, this is my bag of bobby pins. Well, ma'am, we need to search your car. For what? Under what grounds? Well, your new tags for your new car, they're in the wrong spot. Well, this is how the dealership gave it to me. However, me at that time of my life, being ignorant of my rights and being afraid, I said, okay. So I let them search my car with their dog when I had done absolutely nothing wrong. Of course, they find nothing. I had nothing, but I was scared as hell. Okay. So I'm telling this cop, I'm like, sir, I go to a Christian school here. Like, I don't do drugs. I would never do drugs. And you know what he's telling me? I've arrested preachers before. I don't care that you're a Christian. Rude, mean, surly, for no reason, basically just racially profiling me. Okay. You gave me no ticket in the end because I had done nothing wrong. You were just looking to say something and to do something to me because I was black with the new car that my parents purchased. Whereas I live in Canada. I got stopped by the police maybe last year for driving and having my phone in my hand, looking at my directions. And the guy says, well, hi, ma'am. You're not supposed to be on your phone. I was like, sorry, I'm trying to get directions to somewhere. And I just wasn't, I was looking down at my phone. So he's like, you know what I'm going to do for you? I'm going to give you the ticket. But if you get one of those, the little magnet things you put on your window that you put your phone in them or whatever. He's like, if you just buy one of those, when I see you at court and you just give me the receipt, I'll throw it out. So I'm like, okay, sure. So, I go buy one. I go to court like 4 months later. He's like, hi, good to see you. I show him the receipt. He throws it out. One and done. Now, I'm not saying every police officer in the States is horrible and that every police officer in Canada is amazing. I'm just saying those are two different experiences, and they are vastly different.
Yeah, and I get that, and I'm glad you put that out there, because there are a lot of great police officers
Definitely
that work. There are a lot of, we don't want to bash, the great men and women that put on that uniform and that took the oath and followed the oath. I have a lot of family members that wear that badge, and so this is a weight, but I have to make sure that it's a just weight, if that makes any sense. And there are great men and women, both Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Latino, Indian, Arab, you name them all. There's great men and women. We just want those that so in the Bible it says a little leaven leavens the whole loaf. We just need to get the leaven out of the police department. That's basically it. We want the leaven out so that equality can be there and everyone has a fair chance. I've been stopped by a police officer for a tail light, and I've only had one interesting experience, but he came back and apologized. I had my brother-in-law in the car with me. We were in the back seat. I had a new car, and it was a busted tail light, but that's the way they state, I got the car. And he came, the first thing he wanted, you stopped me. You told me what you stopped me for. I give you my driver's license and my registration. I give you everything that you asked me for. What do you need there? They're in the back seat. What do you need their IDs for? And that's when I started saying, no, you're not going to racially profile them. Sorry, that's not going to happen. And I spoke up for them because I refuse to allow that to happen. You stopped me for a tail light. That's all you need to know. And you have to know your rights. And when he finished doing what he was doing and stuff, he came back and he apologized.
And that's wonderful.
So he was, at the same time, he was just doing his job too. So, but there are some that are afraid. They're just afraid. And if you're afraid to be out there, you shouldn't be out there.
Exactly.
And if you're going to police us, you're going to police, this nation, learn the cultures.
Definitely.
Be around people. Every Black woman is not angry. Yes. Every Black man is not not dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So, learn the people that you're policing, learn about them, learn the different cultures, it's just, training, learn, let's work together as a team, town meetings and get into these different things and stuff, get back to the neighborhood watches, people looking out for each other and stuff like that. Some things, it's just, it's crazy.
Well, I'm hearing a lot of things, like all around, like, for example, I guess to mention some of the stuff you guys just brought up in regards to, say, for instance, your son. I had a friend of mine, and I saw her post about it. She just basically was like, and everybody's emotional right now. Everybody's like, emotions are high right now. So I guess the child came and asked her, I think it was the question came across like, why are they killing us? And she just kind of said in that moment, she couldn't really respond. She just was like, she just told the child she didn't know and went away, and I guess to cry, and everything like that. And I guess for me, and I get that emotion. I get that, maybe at that moment she wasn't able to do it. Right. But at the same time, I feel like, at some point, maybe, that as a mom, or, I feel like we should explain to children like what's going on. I think one of the things I'm seeing happening is like everything is getting so lumped together that then now the question is, why are they killing us, as if we can't walk out the door or something. And I feel like that putting that message out there is a little bit false. I mean, I think let's be specific about whatever the situation is and like let kids know about different situations. I mean, I don't know. How do you ladies feel about that?
Yeah, because kids are scared. Well, I sent you that email about my friend trying to start a way to figure out for parents how to, talk to children, about what is going on. Because I feel like it all starts at home. Like I don't have any children, but I would assume, and from the way that my parents raised me, information and having factual information starts from home.
Best to get it from home, I think. But
Yeah.
Right. I have always taught my children, we go beyond just, the history books in school. They have all been to different museums teaching about
Hmm.
slavery and different things. And I remember we took my son, we felt like when he was 8 that he was old enough to, uh, he's well beyond his years, that he was old enough to, understand some things a little bit better. So we took him to Charleston. We went through all of the little slave museums and different areas that they had, and we went to each place and we was reading everything and stuff like that. And then, afterwards, we had ice cream and stuff. We sat down and we was like, how does this make you feel? How do you feel about this? And his response was just, he says, I have one question. Why Black people?
Mm.
And I thought that was so powerful, and in reality, it wasn't just Black people,
Hmm.
because if you look at it, it was Jews, you know. I remember being in high school, I went to a museum where it was a museum that had it was talking about how African Americans were enslaved, but then it also talked about the Holocaust with Jews. It was a mixed thing, and just seeing the treatment of both. And even Armenian people, they were lynched and different things, happened to them as well. So, it's just we just want
Yeah.
equality. We just want, we want to be, to matter. So if I go out for a job interview and a Caucasian woman goes out for a job interview and a Indian woman goes out for a job interview and a Hispanic lady goes out for a job interview and a Asian lady goes out for a job interview, that we are hired not based on the color of our
Right.
skin, but that we are hired on the quality that we will bring to that company, or what we will bring to that particular company, not our skin color, or not even just being a woman, because we
Yes.
want equality too. We want the
Yes.
same pay. How many times have I been in a position? I've worked in management majority of my life, and doing the same job, and sometimes even more than some men, and yet still making less. We just want equality.
Yep. At this point, I mean, I just feel like it's been a long time coming. That for me, this is just it's been an last week was extremely exhausting for me, just because I was so deep into it, and so I was letting it kind of take over, because I want so bad for us to be heard, for us to feel equal. But then I felt like it was starting to affect my mental health, to the point where I was having like an anxiety attack. So I had to take a second and, step back and really pray and like ask God, what else is he trying to show the world during this time? Like what else is it that he wants us to see?
mm-hmm. That's real. I think that's the thing that I've been kind of just reflecting on, because I mean, to me, I guess to me, when I see this stuff happening, to me, it's like, oh, this is Bible prophecy coming. This is it.
Yes.
What it's talking about.
Yep.
But on that other hand, I know, not to say making light of anything. I know it's still crazy. It's still horrible that these things happen, and so we want to do something about it. But I'm like, well, obviously, there's a certain way as Christians that we're supposed to be looking at this situation, or handling it. Yes, like yes, protest, yes, do all those things. But at the same time, I saw. Well, this is something else I came across. It's like I saw the same people that say they're Christians too, that were so gung ho to be like, hey, no, stay home, X, Y, and Z, COVID, blah, 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 don't go to church, blah, blah, blah. This very next week is being like, yes, and not just the protest stuff, but the riots. Yes, that's cool for them to do this and that and the other. And so, but nobody's social distancing, nobody's doing any. I just feel like a lot of I feel like a lot of the emotions is kind of stemmed from the media, and I don't feel like no necessarily people are really looking at it from that spiritual aspect of like, we really don't fight against flesh and blood. Like we're not really fighting each other. It's that thing in the
Mm-hmm.
that is controlling, what's happening around.
Right. You have to look at the positive images too.
Yes.
Don't just look at what is being shown. I've been watching some of the things. There's a lot of positive things happening. There's a lot of officers that are walking with
Yes.
protesters. There are a lot of people that are taking knees. There are, and however, there are some that are, uh, making it look worse than what it actually is. You've seen some people jumping on a vehicle and they were kicking and they were saying, "Oh, these people, they are just riding, they're stomping on cars." But they cropped out the picture of where the car was hitting protesters.
Right.
They cropped out that
Right.
part, that portion. And so, and then, people are writing Black Lives Matter on buildings and stuff, but it's not African
Right.
American people that are doing that. And so, some of it, is
Yep.
staged.
To make us
And,
look bad,
and
low key.
some,
And I don't like that.
right, some of it is staged, and some of it is, people are doing some things. People are out there for different reasons. Some people is using an excuse to get outside. Some people are out there because they're really angry and they want change.
Yes.
We want change, but everyone has to use their
Yep.
platform. Black Lives Matter, they're using their platform. Christians that are out there and about, pastors, they're using their platforms. I've seen a lot of great pastors that are sitting down and having conversations, you know what
Yep.
I'm saying? And going against the odds. And it's not just, when I look at the protests, it's not just Black people that are out
No.
there. You know what I'm saying? It's white people out
Yeah.
there. It's Asian people out there. It's Hispanic people out there, Indian people, Arabic people out there, Armenian people. It's all different nationalities out there fighting for the same thing. It's not a race war. We're not fighting against race. We're fighting against racism, and we're fighting for
Yes.
equality. That's all we're doing, and it's sometimes it just brings a joy, because at the same time you see the negative part, but then you see the
Yes.
positive parts where you see people in London and you see people in, oh man, when I seen the Amish people, they were out there, it was just
Yes.
powerful. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And because it's like people are woke
Yep.
now, their eyes
Yep.
are open, the veil has been
Yep.
lifted, and they can see now. And it's a great opportunity to show unity in this crazy time that we have been living in. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because he was saying, make America great again, but let's really make America great with the
Yes.
unity. With unity, races, every race, every national. Because at the same time, if I get cut and somebody else of a lighter skin or somebody of a darker skin or whatever, we all bleed the
Yep.
same way. You know what I'm saying? As a mother, if your child is hurt, we all hurt the same way for our
Yep.
babies. You know what I'm saying? So there is no different. You know what I'm saying? And it's, yeah. So it's just, we just want to matter. Let's matter. Let's walk together, and let's be one nation under
Yes.
God.
Do you guys think
You
that
know,
that things will get better as well once the current president is out of the office?
I think that
I don't feel like he's done that much to unite this country. And yeah, I've lived in Canada for 3 years, but this is still, America is still my home country. So it saddens me that my family and friends in America, like, it's devastating. And to have somebody like that in office that I feel like is not bringing unity to the country, it makes me feel I don't like it.
everything is learned behavior,
Yep.
right? So he's only doing what he's
Yep.
been taught. He doesn't know any better. So we think he does, and we would hope that he would, but he's only doing what he
Yep.
knows. You know, that's all he knows how to do. You know, And I don't want to say any I don't want to say anything out of um I want to watch
Totally.
my
No,
words
totally understandable.
um as far as he is concerned. What I could do is, because at the end of the day, he is the president of the United States of America. And does he belong in that seat? I don't think that I think the shoes are
So
too big.
definitely, in my opinion as well, I think they're way too big for him.
I think the shoes are too big. And I think that we need to get someone in there that would lead the
Yes.
nation and bring
Yes.
unity. You know what I'm saying? We've had some great presidents in seat, and we've had some not so intelligent presidents as we have right now in
Correct.
the office. Um, and I just think that, right now what we're seeing is a nation
Yeah.
crumbling. It starts from the top. It starts from the top. But at the end of the day, what do I do as a
Yes.
Christian? I pray
Amen.
for him.
Yep.
I pray for
Yep.
his deliverance. I pray that God will open up his eyes, and that, unity will come, that he will begin to speak the will of God and not the will of
Yes.
himself. So, that's what I do, because he's still the president at this moment.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So what do I do for the president at this moment that seems to not be in the right perspective? I pray
Yep.
for him and believe that God can change, because what man can't do, God can
Definitely.
do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know there's something that I've been wondering over the past few days, and that's kind of like I've been it's like on one hand you kind of hear about like what the I guess the president or what the people in these governing positions what they're doing. But what I'm noticing is that the media again is like it's very biased if we just be honest about it. And so I'm wondering, I don't know if you ladies are familiar or no, maybe you guys can help me. But I'm wondering, where can we look up unbiased information about like what's actually going on, when it comes to like what did the presidents do, or what are the presidents doing, or what are they working on, or what, like where can we find that type of information as citizens of the U.S.? Because I mean, I don't feel like I have access to that. Now maybe I'm I need to learn. So, do you ladies have any access to that, or know any place to look up unbiased information, like people that are just keeping records of what's being done?
I mean, that's a
It
very, very
is.
good question. If he was speaking somewhere and you went to a place and you were actually able to hear him speak, you can hear the words for yourself. Or I would say, just like, for example, if you had two children that got into a fight, right? They will both come with their sides of the story,
Right.
right? It's his side, it's her side, it's their side, whatever, and then somewhere in between is the truth. You know what I'm saying? So you have one news outlet that is strictly pro, and I believe that's, everyone, I'll say Fox News, is pro, the president, okay, and pro whatever. Anything becomes some type of, I heard some crazy story that one of the anchor people there was saying that the Democrats was using George Floyd's thing as a decoy or something. You know what I'm saying? So I would say that's one. Then you have the other one that he calls CNN, which is fake news, because they fact check the things that he says. And then you have other outlets that, listen. So what I would like to do is uncut, unedited, raw footage of what they get, because a lot of times the news will take information and they will edit it out. I had watched it was a forum with some local officials, police departments, and residents, which was a town meeting, which was pretty good. And it was nice to see someone record the whole meeting because the news outlet edited the town meeting. And when this person came up and said, hey, you guys got up there and you cropped out the part where this was doing this, and you made it look like the protesters were being bad, but basically what they were doing was protecting other citizens. And you are holding this picture and making them look like they are savages and that they're doing this and stuff like that. But that part got edited out from the news media.
Of course, that's how they do.
They did right. They didn't show that. So what I would like is raw, unedited footage. Let us see everything, and then people can make their own conclusions. And then we still have to understand this one thing too: people have the right to their own opinions.
Yep,
they really do. They have the right. If they like something, like for example, I love avocados, but my husband don't like them. He has a right not to like them. Am I going to be angry with him because he doesn't like avocados?
right.
You know what I'm saying? Am I going to treat him unfair because he doesn't like avocados?
Right.
You're right.
Right.
So I'm just saying, yeah. They people have a right to their opinions, and a lot of times people are saying things that are out of the way, but that's their opinion. And what do we do for people that have things that are out of the way? As Christians, we pray for them because there's places that men cannot reach, but God can.
Definitely.
There's some places in a person's heart that no person can reach but God. We pray for these people and we believe God to do the rest. You know what I'm saying? Only He can give the increase. Only He can bring about real change. And if we become one nation praying under God,
as we're supposed to be,
the change will come. We need Him more than anything in this time. We need Him. That's where the change is going to come. That's where the deliverance is going to come. That's where people are going to be set free through Him.
So what do you guys think about? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. What do we think about?
I was going to say, what do you guys think about what could, we be doing as Christians, as people of color in general to educate? Because one issue that I feel like I'm running into a bit is people not knowing, why this is such an issue, or not knowing what Black people have been through their whole lives. Like I had someone say to me last week, I just couldn't even imagine what it would be like to be Black because I just and I'm sure they can't because they're Caucasian, so they can't put themselves in my body and I can't put myself in their body. But I had someone else say, well, could you educate me about why this is so important and about the history of your ancestry or your ethnicity? But then I also had someone else say, why is it, and this was a Caucasian person as well, say, why is it African Americans' job to educate Caucasian people on what's going on when they're forced to learn all about us without reason? So what can we, as Christians, what do you guys think about that? Should we be educating people? Do we feel like they should already know? Should they go pick up a book? Is it exhausting? I don't know.
If the person asks you for information and you have it, give it to them. If they're asking for knowledge, it's simply because they don't know. People perish for lack of knowledge. So if someone wants to sit down and have that conversation, because remember, things are taught at home. Racism is taught at home. You can put kids in a room together. They will play. They will have a ball together. They will have so much fun. It's the parents, it's the adults that pull them apart. No. Pull them apart and put that stuff in them. You know what I'm saying? That stuff is taught. They come out, they don't come out like that. Kids play. They love each other.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They don't have that issue. It's the adults. But then the adults got it from the adults. And
it's
then
a generational thing. It's a generational curse.
Right. And so you have to, if somebody's asking a question, that means their heart is softened. Talk to them. Tell them about it. Tell them about it and leave them, and don't get offended. Talk to them with an open heart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And let them talk to you from their perspective, and and pray too. Pray with them before you even
Yes.
have that conversation, and then talk. And then after the conversation, pray again. You know what I'm saying? And end it out. And then still pray for that particular person. God minister to them, show them, teach them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you never know. That person may be end up being a voice for
Yep.
someone else. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, so it is yeah. You just
Yeah, that's
it's if somebody teach them. If they're asking to learn, yes, teach them about it, because they don't know. And they're right. We were taught certain things, and as parents, some parents don't even know not to some parents don't know themselves because their parents didn't
Yep.
teach them. Even African American people, they're learning about their race and
Yes.
culture and all the stuff that they're going through too. They're learning
Yep.
about it now too, because they didn't know. And do children have questions? They sure
Oh, they
do.
do.
Because when you was a child, did you have questions? You
Yep.
sure did. And so, you just have to, as a parent, you have to be attentive and look, and don't drill your
Mm-hmm.
child with information, because you'll be surprised how much they
Mm-hmm.
already know. Hear what they, ask them, how are you feeling about this situation? What do you want to talk about? Let's talk about this. I know you're going through something. And don't force anything on them. Don't do that. Just leave a space to where your child can come to you. You know what I'm saying? And minister to your child, because these kids are
Oh,
hurting. They
yeah.
see it, and it's not just African American children that are hurting.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of children, because you see here. I was looking. And it really touched my heart too. It's not just because I'm sure that you're seeing Black Lives Matter, and you're seeing the African American people, and we're fighting for equality, and we're going through this and stuff like that. But I'm sure there are some Latinos that are saying, well, we I want that for us too. You know what I'm saying? Because we're going through this too. And I'm sure that there's,
Oh,
you
yeah.
understand what
My
I'm trying to say?
boyfriend is
Other
Hispanic, and he's told me
nationalities.
some stories about how he's been racially profiled, and he's told me how this is important to him as well for his culture as well. So, I mean, it's an important thing all around.
So when we say black and brown, who do you think we're talking about when we say
Exactly.
brown? So yeah, we just want equality. It's America. It's all these different nationalities that make America wonderful, coming together, making it, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? If we can come together, we can make it an awesome. We just got to get the
Yep.
leaven out. Take the leaven out.
so
A little leaven the whole lump.
I was
Yep.
gonna say something that came to me last week as I was like looking over all this and talking about it and stuff like that was that a lot of this kind of stems from fear, and I was wondering. Now, of course, I'm not a white person, so I don't know, and I haven't asked them to know. But from what I'm just observing, I'm thinking the fear for the black people is not wanting to go back to the way things was. You know what I mean, and everything like that. I feel like that's where some of that fear might stem from. But then I feel like maybe from the white people, perhaps their fear could come from not wanting to uh, become what their ancestors did. You know what I mean? Like in reverse, like having this type of thing happen to them. And so maybe that's where some of that fear stems from. Like, I don't know what that can do. I don't know if that's the real reasons why people hold on to whatever racist uh, thoughts they have. But I mean, I don't know. That at least gave me a little bit of maybe understanding where maybe some of this could stem from. I don't know. What do y'all think about that?
I mean, yeah, some fear, that they are majority now, and that one day they'll become the minority.
Yeah,
I've
I've heard
heard
that
that
too.
from. Um, I'm going to send you a link of. There was this powerful uh, short show with Charles Barkley, and he talked to an extremist, and got a look of what his perspective and
Oh,
thoughts
wow.
were. it was a rough chat, but it was a very necessary chat so that you can see, some of the places that people are coming from. Still,
Wow.
again, taught behavior. So I just say that, yeah, there's fear. There's fear, that they want to matter too. You know what I'm saying? But let's all matter on a just weight, on an equal
Yes.
balance.
Yes.
Let's all matter. Um, and just like we're fearful for our husbands and our sons, there are some white women and their sons are
Right.
black. Their
Right.
husbands are black. They're out there fighting too. They're mamas too. You know what I'm saying? There was a Caucasian lady that got up there and she said, when George Floyd cried out for his mama, he cried out for me too.
Mm.
That's why we out here. I'm his
Yeah.
mama too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? White women get up there, they said, this is my black son. And if somebody put their knee in my son's neck, I'm coming out there too. But I tell you, that's just
Yeah.
the mama. That's the mama. That's just the mama. You know what I'm saying? And every black person and every white person, they're not racist. You know what I'm saying? And so you're seeing unity. But we need to look at the unity portion of it and try to spread that throughout, if I'm making
Definitely.
any sense.
Well, ladies, I won't be long your time. If there's anything that you all want to like leave with the people, or just kind of want to say, uh, feel free.
I would just say pray. Just pray and educate yourselves and be kind to yourselves during this time and be loving to one another. I mean, 2020 has been a rough year, I think. Like, it started with, and I mean, this may not be important to everyone, but Kobe died first. That was a blow for me. Then Corona. Then, it's just like one thing after another. Now, it's just like it's just been an exhausting year. And so I just I'm praying for breakthroughs for the world, for the black culture, for the white culture, for the Hispanic culture, just breakthroughs so that people are, like we're just saying this entire time, treated equal and getting rid of the bad apples. Because, yeah, no, not all police are horrific and not all, police are, bad. Not all police are racist. Some are amazing and loving and they are trying to protect and serve like they're doing their job. But there's a few bad apples. And so we just want to do whatever we can to get rid of the bad apples so that we can have a peaceful country. Now, I'm not saying everything's going to be all sugary and, dandy, but I just hope that we continue to, do what we can as Christians and as people who are trying to fight for our rights, but in a way where we're still being heard and that we're not hurting others.
Very good, very, very good. And I just want to, I'm going to add on to
Mhm.
one little thing that you said about the police. Even the good ones that are out there, they're fearing for
Yeah.
their lives right now because of what the bad ones
Yes.
have done, because they have put their lives in jeopardy as well. And they have lost some of
Yeah.
their members because of what one person
Yeah.
has done. Or should I say, what four
Mm.
people have done? They have lost quite a bit of people, and some have been injured, and some other things. But I would say this too. I'll add on to it again. We need to pray. We need to pray. That is the thing
Yep.
that changes everything. We need God in this situation. We need Him more now than ever before. And I would just say, like again, like London said, have that conversation. If someone is willing to talk. Have that conversation. Speak to people, and be
Mm-hmm.
safe out there. We're still in a pandemic. Things are still happening. You know what I'm saying? Let your voice be heard, but still be safe out there. Your family loves you. They need you too. And it's just a really crazy time. And when times get crazy, the best person to
Yes.
go to is God, because when the water was crazy and Peter wanted to go away, he said, peace be still. That's when
Yep.
it got still, right? When he said it, everybody was panicking in the boat, but when he got up out of his sleep, he said, peace be still. And what was there?
Yes.
Peace. So
Yep.
right now the waters is troubled. The only one that can bring that peace is God. So that's what we
Yep.
need in this situation.
That's what I want to leave the people with. I just want to say thank you so much, ladies, for taking out the time to chit chat with me about this. Again, thank you for Miss D, first time, and Miss Tanya, welcome back.
Whoop, whoop.
There'll be many more conversations, and
Bye,
I hope that you guys are having many more conversations as well. So, yeah, I guess I'll let you.
Okay, ladies.
Thank you for
Yes,
having me,
thanks
Miss
for
Miracles.
having
I
us, love.
appreciate it. Thank
Nice
you, thank you,
meeting you,
thank
Miss
you.
D.
Nice meeting
Okay,
you as
guys,
well, London.
bye.